Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ratu, Tuimba, the Honourable Minister for Local, the Minister for Employment, Youth and Sports, Assistant Minister for Agriculture, Permanent Secretary, the CEO of Ba, Municipal Council, all the other dignitaries that are here. I see also Mr. Vinod Patel, a former mayor of Ba, who's here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, all the market vendors and all the residents of Ba. It's a pleasure to be back here in Ba again, and of course it's a very auspicious occasion. This structure of course signifies or symbolizes also at the same time the fact that despite all the issues we've had with COVID-19, with the floods, etc., that we can continue as a nation, we can continue to build, rebuild, and also continue to improve the quality of our lives, not just in terms of our homes, but also in terms of the business environment, the market environment that we do have. I wanted to, of course, the CEO has very aptly highlighted the reason as to why you've got this shelter here. And of course, it does make sense to have more and more shelters, in particular when market vendors come from afar. Some people come only on Fridays or Saturdays to sell their goods. And when they have to sit out in the sun or sit out in the rainy weather, their goods do get damaged, they get wet, they get sick. So in this particular manner, we are able to mitigate those risks. We divert those risks away from us. And that, of course, is the objective of government through the municipal councils, through the ministries, to ensure that we continuously look at ways of improving the quality of the lives of all Fijians. I wanted to overall, ladies and gentlemen, just highlight to you many things that, of course, are happening in the Fijian economy. And essentially to also say to you that there are a number of positive things that have actually taken place. Sometimes the initiatives that government has put in place, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of it. And I'd like to highlight one of them in particular. You would have seen in today's Fiji Sun, the Permanent Secretary of Economy is talking about how in the recent past we've spent $1 million where Fijians who normally go to the public system, go to the public hospital or go to the nursing station, they are now using private doctors to go and see the doctor when they feel sick. Many of you are still not doing it. Please understand that we are now paying private doctors. If you cannot afford to go and see a private doctor, you've got the flu, etc., you can now go to a private doctor and we actually pay the fees for you. There are selected private doctors, for example, in Ba. You can go and see them. If normally you go to a hospital or you go to a nursing station, you can now go and see them and we'll pay the fees for you. The reason why we've done that, of course, it started off when we had COVID at a peak. We wanted more and more people to access doctor services really quickly. We didn't want everybody rushing to one particular place, so we want to be able to spread the people, in different places. In that way, we have less contagious environment. And that, of course, is now working out quite well for us. So it gives you quicker service. It gives you sometimes better service. It also means there's less pressure on the public health system. So more serious cases actually go to the hospital. Talking about hospitals, I know there's been a lot of talk about the new Ba hospital. We have had a number of course, works that were delayed because of COVID-19. The opening date of the Ba hospital, subject to a couple of the equipment coming on time. As you know, because of COVID-19, some of the freight, we've had some freight issues. So with all the equipment, if they come on time, we're looking at the opening of the Ba hospital on the 31st of January of this year, which is in a few weeks' time. So once the equipment comes in, the hospital will be opened to the general public. There were some issues. There was some water inundation into the hospital. That's currently being fixed up. And it may be 1 or 2 weeks just in case the equipment does not come in time, but we're looking at the 31st of January or a couple of weeks after that, that the new Ba hospital will be open. You know that also, as announced in the budget last year, that we've also paying all the market vendors' fees, because we recognize that because of COVID-19, because of various natural disasters, there's a bit of pressure on the market vendors. So this is why all your market fees are currently now being paid by government to the Ba Municipal Council. And we've done that throughout Fiji, all the municipal councils. And that is the reason why, for example, we've also, for fishermen who go and apply for fishing licenses, we also pay their fees now. People who, for example, renewing their taxi permit, we pay their fees for them now. And the reason why we've done that is because we want you to be able to not have to pay for those things that actually makes you earn a living. And that's the reason we've done that. And we need to be able to work as a team to be able to ensure that we come out of this situation that has been, precipitated, has been created by COVID-19. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of information out there. I urge you to please go to the government Facebook page. I know many of you have government Facebook, you have Facebook accounts. You go to the government website, you go to your municipal councils, you go to the different ministries. We'll be able to disseminate as much information as possible. I would love to, after this session, if you have, I would like to meet up with many of you as possible, given all the COVID constraints, but we still like to meet up with you. If you have any issues, we can discuss them. I would like to thank, of course, the CEO and her team for putting up this shelter. There's obviously an opportunity to do more and more of such projects. The reality of the matter is that municipal councils need to become eventually self-sustaining. They need to create revenue. They need to have revenue, but also at the same time, they need to be able to provide services. This is why when we said market vendors don't pay any fees, we actually paying your fees to them. Because if we simply said to the Bar Municipal Council, don't collect any fees, then they don't no longer have any revenue. So we are giving them the revenue on your behalf. So we need to be able to work along these things, these initiatives on a commercial basis, and that's how things become sustainable. There was, of course, recent flooding here, as announced by the Minister for Waterways. There's a number of initiatives in respect to some of the dredging projects. We understand there'll be some slight diversion being done of this creek at the back here to be able to ensure there's better flow of the water. So there's a number of initiatives we are putting in place. We, of course, like you to share that. I also know that this year is an election year, or maybe possibly early next year, and a lot of people tend to sensationalize a lot of things. I urge you only one thing. I'm not here to campaign. The only thing I want to say to you is please rely on facts. There are a lot of people, telling a lot of false information, a lot of lasu going on, a lot of jhoot going on. Rely on the facts. The facts are available. Rely on the facts and move forward. We cannot afford to look backwards. We need to move forward. We need to think about our children. As the Minister for Education has also announced, the schools are being opened up from next week. Years 8 to 13 are being opened up. We need our years 12 and 13 students to move along, the year 13 students to go to, whether they go and do a diploma, they go and do a degree, they go to university, they go to technical colleges. So that makes space for our new year 1 students to come in. Because if year 13 students are stuck here, the new year 1s cannot come in. So I urge you all, there of course COVID is around, but you can see that less people are suffering less. So we need to be able to take the precautions, the announcements made by the Ministry of Health. There are risks involved, but we need to be able to manage those risks in the same way we manage other risks with other diseases. We also have to understand that just because there's COVID-19, please don't forget, there are a lot of people in Fiji who have on a daily basis some part of their body amputated, cut off because of diabetes. Diabetes is still a big problem in Fiji. Heart problem is still a big issue in Fiji. NCDs is a big problem in Fiji. So please focus on that. Look at how you can look after yourselves, look after your health, because there are other things other than COVID, and government is obviously looking at the big picture. And you need to be able to work together with us so we can all move forward, because these young boys and girls are our future. We need to ensure they get back to school, they improve their learning capacity, they also then grow up, become leaders in our community, become professionals, so we as a nation can progress. So ladies and gentlemen, Vinaka Vakalevu for being here this morning. I'd like to thank all the project member teams, the construction workers who put up this particular project, the municipality, the CEO, the minister, and everybody else that's been involved. I'd like to thank all of you, the market vendors who've been involved in this particular initiative, and those of you who will of course benefit from it. Naka Kalevu, and I wish you a good day. Naka, thanks.